relief. And then I get the person in a deep, relaxed state, because the more of a deeper, relaxed state you're in, the easier it is to enter into what we call the theta brainwaves of the mind, and that's where the subconscious is located. And once you get into theta brainwave state, then you can make all kinds of changes in the subconscious programming of the mind. You can change thoughts, you can change belief systems, things like that you're able to do just by using some commands and using visualization techniques.
Remember what Jesus said about having as much faith as a grain of mustard seed, which, by the way, apparently was the smallest seed he'd ever seen. Yeah. That's why he kept using that reference. Well, everyone, think about this. He told us this a long time ago. You just need to believe a tiny bit.
That's right.
What's better, and it will transform everything. A grain of mustard seed, that little bit of faith, of belief, same thing, would let you move a mountain. So imagine if you can change your own programming, and we program ourselves this way, and our parents do in very negative ways very often. If you can have that little bit of change, you can change everything in your life. That's what this is really all about. You're trying to live the best life you can, but there are things now that may be in the way. That's what energy healing really is, changing that forever. So why is it some people don't get healed?
Oh, gosh, there's a lot of reasons why some people don't get healed. Sometimes if they have a real serious physical illness or disease, their body just doesn't have the nutrients and the stability it needs to be able to create a healing within the body. The body's just way too worn down. There's too many low vibrating frequencies. There's not enough positive loving energy within the body to be able to bring a healing about. Sometimes we don't get illness or disease remains there because it provides us a benefit. And a lot of people don't like to think about this, but if you've been sick for quite some time, there are actually some benefits that you get used to. For some people, they don't have to be responsible. Other people are doing everything for them. They may not have to go out to work. They get attention that way, different things like that. Some people, it's a mindset. They believe they don't deserve to get healed. They believe that there's something they're supposed to learn by being in a state of illness and disease. Sometimes, especially in the Christian church, people feel like it's a punishment. I've created some sin, I've done something bad, I'm being punished with this illness or disease. Other people have the mindset that, suffering is somehow honorable, that they suffer honorable about going through life and having this type of suffering through illness or disease, whatever it may happen.
Oh, my goodness. And you see all of that?
Oh, yeah, we see all of that. And then other times we see people, we get so used to living with anxiety and fear. I see this all the time with clients. It becomes so normal to live with stress that even though we say we don't want anxiety, we don't want stress, we're afraid to live without it because it's become so normal. We don't know how to live without fear. We don't know how to live with anxiety. We don't know how to live without depression. We don't know how to live without pain in our body. And so it's really scary for all of us to think about, do I really want to get rid of all this stuff?
Because my goodness.
Identity.
Joyce, I had never even thought about it that way. What an extraordinary problem that is. Yeah. That people get feedback from being in these states, which are really very counterproductive to their happiness and to everyone's happiness in their lives. Wow. Yeah. I never thought. So what, when we're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, I really would like to further understand, given how deep these problems can be for people, how it is possible for a holistic healer to attack that. I mean, if my only safe place is being sick and unhappy, how do we ever fix that and make the great reality that's all around us feel safe? So how do you deal with that?
Well, first you have to help your client understand what all these self-limiting beliefs, self-defeating thoughts, whatever you identify it as, they're keeping you in this place of sickness and illness or disease, whether it's emotional or physical, whatever it happens to be. So you need to have that conversation with them and just talk about what they are and why they've been living that way, why they've been hanging on to that. Talk about what life will look like when they no longer have anxiety, when they no longer have pain, when they no longer have depression, whatever it is, and help them to get a visual of how much better their life will be. Change is very, very difficult for the majority of people. So you have to move slowly many times with people, and you just kind of make one little change at a time they get used to feeling with. So maybe they start out, they're living their life with 80% anxiety in their life. Make a few changes, they can learn to live with it at 70%. They adjust to that. Oh, that feels a little better. Okay, now let's make another change to get it down to 50%. So it's like a very slow progression as you take them down where they learn a little bit more and more how to live with less pain, with less fear, or less anxiety, less depression, whatever the issue is that they're dealing with.
Do you help them think of positive things that would be possible? For example,
Absolutely.
if you can get better, you might be able to find love even at the age of 38, that kind of thing.
Well, you always have to instill hope in people. Hope is what helps us get from here to there in life. And so you want to instill realistic hope. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 6 months from now? What can we put in place to make that happen for you? What that's going to look like for you? Because the more you can think about and imagine and feel out your future, the more you're going to be able to actually manifest it into the present moment.
And it's possible for you to get to know these people well enough to pinpoint, okay, I understand that the reason why you don't want to get better is this, and maybe you don't put it that bluntly, but you're able to pinpoint what their blocks are and then help them. Okay, that's wonderful.
And you find what the blocks are and then help them work through those blocks.
This is great. All right, maybe I need this too, Joyce. This occurred to me now. What do you think the implications, because it isn't just Joyce doing this. There are other holistic healers who have all the same information. Yep. Maybe they're not as good as my friend Joyce, but they're able to help in this way, which is a whole area of health that was going to start happening for the world. What do you think the implications are going to be of this new technique, not new, maybe ancient, but new to us? If everybody knows that we can be healed this way, and if everybody is doing it, how will the world change?
Well, we have to start with education. A lot of education is educating people that they are a spiritual energy system. They're not just this physical body that they've been told. Educating that they're connected to a force, they're connected to the energy field out there. They're not just living in this 3D world on planet Earth. So you have to start with a lot of education. But as we begin to get people to understand this and to apply it and use it in their everyday life, we're going to have a much loving, much better world in which to live in. Because what makes this world so difficult for people is so many people are walking around carrying all this heavy, dense energy, which is pulling them down and causing all kinds of conflict in their relationships and their jobs and in their everyday life and their sleep and things like that. But as we're able to release all that out using all these energy-based treatments, people will be much more loving, much more kind, much more trusting. They're going to feel very much connected to Source and realize that everything they have comes from Source. So they don't have to fight with each other on this planet trying to get their needs met. So overall, we'll have a much nicer, loving, beautiful civilization on planet Earth when people are more open to using these energy-based treatments. And like you said, there are thousands of them out there. There are just so many different wonderful treatments that people can use to be healed of so many different issues, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual.
Wow, it's going to be a whole new world. Yes. I never understood the implications, but as I was thinking about this, as we've been talking, I think you're absolutely right about that. In fact, holistic healing of mind, body, and spirit may be the basic way that we are going to end up changing the world. And each of us can do that for ourselves and help those in our lives to do it for themselves. This is something which, it seems to me, we all need to start thinking about, because we all, I now know, have blocks. I'm aware of that. But I just never understood the implications of this. So I'm excited, Joyce. Do you have a website where people can learn more?
Yes, my business is Holistic Healing Consulting, so my website is just www.holistichealingconsulting.com. Okay,
and so people can reach you through that website?
Correct, and my email is joyce@holistichealingconsulting.com.
And do you have a waiting list? So if someone's inspired right now, do you have a waiting list so it'll be a while before you can see them, or are you pretty much taking people?
I should be able to, I can take a few new clients at this time. Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, this is very exciting. I'm so glad we talked about this today because I love it. My favorite ones, Seek Reality episodes, are the ones where I learn a lot, and I learned a lot today. So, big hug, Joyce. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll have you back again. We're going to plan this again because every time Joyce comes, she enlightens me, and that's frankly the best part of this. Sometimes, big hug, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you. Enjoyed it.
Everyone, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. I'm so glad you could be with us today. This has been fun. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began and you never will end. And when you really, really get what that means and all its implications, it is going to change everything in your life for the better. Next week, our guest is going to be TJ Woodward. TJ is another gifted layperson who came to this information and has immersed himself in it to the extent that he now understands amazingly well how to use the power of consciousness to help people and to heal people's lives. His 2015, which a lot later than I thought, his 2015 book is Conscious Being, Awakening to Your True Nature. It's astonishing. It's powerful. It's transforming, and actually it's true to everything I've learned in 5 decades of trying to understand reality. I usually don't remember particularly the books that people I have interviewed have shared with me, but that one I will never forget. And his recent book is called Conscious Recovery, A Fresh Perspective on Addiction. You're going to love sitting with me at the feet of this gentle and beautiful man. This week, our guest for the 4th time, of course, has been Joyce Stewart. Joyce is an expert on A Course in Miracles. I'm going to have her back soon to talk about that. And she's a holistic health practitioner who helps people to heal their bodies, their minds, and their lives. Her books are Interconnected by God, Healing for Your Spirit, Soul, and Body, which is about our topic today. And her other book is called God is Love, A Spiritual Journey from Fear to Love. Joyce provides online counseling services and holistic healing consulting. She's given you her website. If you don't, for some reason, aren't able to find it on this podcast, just send me through the contact block the question, how do I get in touch with Joyce? And I will send you her email address. She's accessible, and as you can hear, she's matter of fact, and she's very, very loving. If you are ready to try out what your mind might be able to do to heal any problems you're having, then you might want to have just a conversation with Joyce and see how she could help you. As you know, my nonfiction books are Liberating Jesus, My Thomas, The Fun of Dying, The Fun of Staying in Touch, The Fun of Growing Forever, The Fun of Living Together, and for young children, The Fun of Meeting Jesus, and the upcoming The Fun of Growing with Jesus. This is where this book is late getting out because I've been so busy with other things, but I'm about to get it all to the publisher so that we can share it. The illustrations are beautiful. You can order, of course, all my books through bookstores or on Amazon.com, and the adult books are all available as audiobooks. If you want to talk about any of my books, or if you want to talk about anything at all, you can always contact me through robertagrimes.com. I still answer every email. I used to be able to say, if you don't hear in 24 hours, send flowers. Now I have to say it may take me a few days, but I will get to answering your email too. It's frustrating for me, though, that sometimes people don't give their correct email. It's not automatic that I get it. So just be sure you're giving me your email address. I will answer your email. If you don't hear within a week or two, just send me another one. Of course, past episodes of Seek Reality are available on webtalkradio.net, on iTunes, and through the Seek Reality app that you can find for free in the iTunes store. Even earlier episodes are being rebroadcast now by our wonderful, wonderful friends at Dream Vision 7 Radio. And frankly, if you ever lose track of where Seek Reality can be heard right now, just go to robertagrimes.com and click the radio tab. I am so glad that you and I are able to share every week. Sometimes it's very hard for me to get this done because my life has become so complicated. A lot more about that I'll be sharing with you soon. But I would never skip a week because you have become so important to me. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. We are friends, and I want to make sure that if you need help, that if there's help I can give you, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the help that you need. So please rest in the love and the joy and the peace of the genuine God, which is not the Jehovah God, which is instead, as Joyce says, Mikey Morgan, as so many who know the truth have been saying, is perfectly loving energy. That is all that exists. That is what God really is. And in particular, you are the most beloved part of that eternal God of which we all are a part. So meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy, please make the most of this coming week in our one reality, knowing that you in particular, are a powerful eternal being and you are infinitely loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.